Today's podcast is sponsored by Penn State Health Women's Health,
providing complete care from checkups to preventative screenings to fertility care, obstetrics, and leading edge treatment for cervical cancer and pelvic pain.
With offices in Hershey, Harrisburg, and Camp Hill, go to pennstatehealth.org/OBGYN.
Speaking of women's health, I cannot believe how difficult it is for women to get the proper feminine hygiene products.
It's unbelievable that women don't have the money for something that is so necessary. But a group called the Period Project wants to help. And this is Chick to Chick.
Laura, I have all daughters, and it just hasn't even been a thought to me that I just run out and get the things they need, pads, tampons, anything like that. And especially so they feel comfortable and they're not nervous when they go to school or out in public that there could be an accident. I cannot believe that I am learning about so many women from all ages who really don't have these products. They just can't afford them. It's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. Carrie, I think we all get wrapped up in our own head and wrapped up in our own lives. And we think, well, we live like this, so everybody lives like this. And we forget that there is a lot of poverty in this country and that women don't have the money for, again, this is not a luxury item.
No, they need it.
This is a necessity of life. They need feminine hygiene products, and they don't have the money for it. Which brings us to our guest today. Megan Swope runs a group called the Period Project. This is news to both of us.
Yeah.
So Megan, you really need to educate us about all of this. What is the Period Project?
Well, the Period Project is a community initiative that sort of was born out of a change project that I needed to do to complete my nursing degree. I had to pick something that I was kind of not aware of in our community. And I'm very involved in with working with the homeless. And I became aware through my research of period poverty. I had no idea this existed. As you said, I need something and go to the store and get it. This is one of those simple, basic things that we take for granted. And the more I researched, the more I realized the inequity of it and the struggle that it may be transportation, whatever prevents that woman from, or individual that menstruates from getting what they need. And it just became kind of a call to action for me.
Yeah. And you said something there that, again, I had never heard of. Period poverty.
Yeah.
Never even heard of that before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it is alarming. And that's why what you're doing is so important, because I cannot imagine as a woman not being able to have what I need. I can't imagine what you can't go to work if you have your period and you have nothing to stop it. I mean, the confidence that you lack in just something as simple as that. So what are you doing and how are you helping get these people out of this poverty situation so they have what they need?
Well, we're very simple in our approach. We are putting together period packs for the low income and homeless individuals who menstruate. We want to be inclusive in our language there because it could be someone transitioning. But we are putting together packs that will have a month's worth of supplies, 7 pads, 7 tampons, and 7 panty liners in a water-resistant bag, so that no matter where that person is living, whether they're unsheltered or sheltered, they have what they need. And they can. My hope is that we can get to a point with our supply chain that they can return the bag to where they picked it up to have it refilled. So to have sort of a bank of supplies. So that is our goal. And included in that is education on toxic shock syndrome, which people think has gone away, but it's a higher rate of occurrence in this population.
That's interesting, which brings us to my next question. And I want to point out that Penn State Health and the Women's Health Services, they've given you grants that you're able to purchase these products and put these packs together. So kudos to them for stepping up and providing the funding for that. You brought up the toxic shock. I think women need to understand two things. I guess women who don't have these products might be using the same product over and over again. And will you please speak to why that is really not a smart or healthy thing to do and what the ramifications from doing that?
That is exactly, one of the things you just mentioned is they will extend wear because they don't have enough supply, or they may not have access to a place to complete menstrual hygiene, such as a source of water. They will extend wear of their supplies, or they will use alternative materials, cotton, literally anything they can to manage their flow. And this puts them at very high risk for toxic shock. Also, because of communal living, they have a higher rate of strep and staph infections, which is also puts them at higher rate for toxic shock syndrome. So having that information included with the packs, we're hoping to just give them a sense of what are the red flags to keep an eye out for. And again, I had no idea. A lot of that was us think about toxic shock is only associated with extended wear of super tampons, but the reality is it is out there and they are at high risk for it.
I know when I was, first becoming a woman, as they say, my mom was always like, don't keep the tampon in too long. You have to be really, really careful. Well, I had the benefit of being able to get into the box and get another one. So how do young women of any age that are still having a menstrual cycle, and maybe they're not staying in a homeless shelter, but how are they able to get access to this? How are you getting it out to everyone?
Well, we have formed amazing partnerships, and right out of the gate, Alder Health Services and Beacon Clinic in the city agreed to be distribution points for us. So they will be giving to their clients who are uninsured and come there for not only services, but they also give free medications and have the ability to give them reproductive health services as well. So this is a really nice adjunct to that they can get these products as well. Additionally, other locations I'm in talks with them so that based on supply, we could provide at other locations within the city. And then my hope is that they can come back and get them refilled there as well.
So Megan, you mentioned that you put these packs together, and I know you have community events from time to time when you hand these out. If people want information, if they want to volunteer, or if they need these packs, where can they go to get more information?
As you mentioned earlier, we did receive a grant from Penn State Health, Community Health Outreach, and we do have events where we're going to be assembling. And if you go to theperiodprojectharrisburg.com, you can see what events we have coming up and be a part of what's making a difference in period poverty in Harrisburg.
And you said again, periodprojectharrisburg.com. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Wonderful. Megan, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for the information. And really, I think this comes from both of us. Thank you for educating us about something that we didn't know anything about. So this is fantastic. Thank you.
It absolutely is. You're really an angel. What you're doing is amazing. It might seem simple, but thank you.
Well, it's the least we can do as humans is when we become aware of something like this, just to address it and give back. And I'm truly very grateful to Penn State Health for stepping up and making these things happen in the community.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Carrie, I really like what Megan said. It's pretty simple. When you see there's a problem, come up with a solution and fix it. And that's what she's doing with the Period Project.
She really did. She isn't just fixing it. I think that she is really adding a conversation that most of us had no clue about period poverty. So I'm grateful that we did this podcast. And I really hope that other people listening, if they can jump in and help out, that would be awesome. We appreciate you being with us. And we're always excited that you'll come back and chirp with us about another topic.